What is good, you guys? Welcome back to the Hero Report and welcome back to a brand new video on this channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals, man. I did promise you guys some NBA content. I did the mock draft. Please go watch that video if you guys are NBA fans. If you guys are into the draft, I did the mock draft on this channel. And today we're going to be talking about the ending of the finals. It was a very, very fun finals to watch, personally for me. And I'm going to be giving my perspective, a Heat fan's perspective on the Milwaukee Bucks winning the championship. So Bucks fans, Suns fans, whatever fan you are, please watch the entire video because it's going to be a good one. So before we get into it though, make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you guys are new. We are less than 50 subscribers away from 1K, and I'm very excited when we hit 1K. It's going to be a very, 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 very exciting day. So let's get right into it, man. Last night, the Milwaukee Bucks captured their first championship in about 50 years, winning it all. Giannis with a great game. And I want to say congratulations to the Bucks, man. From a Heat fan, obviously the Heat and Bucks, I haven't really had like a rivalry, but they've had some kind of, tension, beef, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, the Heat and the Bucks matched up twice in a row. With us almost sweeping them and beating them in 5 last year. They came back and swept us, and I actually really underestimated the Bucks team this year. Obviously you can talk about the injuries to the Nets and whatnot, and it could have been a different series if the Nets stars were healthy, but man, every year there's always something going on. There's always some injuries that are happening every year. You're never going to get a perfect championship without any injuries. Like, you can go back to whenever, and I can't even remember the last championship where a team won without facing a team that had a fully healthy roster. I don't think it's happened in a long time. So you got to take the injuries, and you just got to give credit to the Bucks, man. You got to throw the injuries out of the window, because even the Suns had a lot of luck coming to the finals. I was very high on the Suns team, but I have to admit that they did get the luck of the draw by getting through the Lakers, who do not have Anthony Davis, and then the Clippers did not have Kawhi, the Nuggets did not have Jamal Murray. So injuries are on both sides. You can't really discredit either team. It happens. Whatever you want to say, the Milwaukee Bucks deserve this championship. They've been thoroughly the best team of the playoffs so far. I have to give a lot of credit to the Bucks. I think Mike Budenholzer actually really improved this year. He was a very big liability last year. I think any Bucks fan will tell you that, and I'm not convinced that he's a top tier coach this year, but he has definitely improved. He's definitely started to make adjustments, and I think that's the one thing the Bucks fans were asking for, was for him to start making adjustments, because he was a guy who was known for trying to stick with the same game plan, and that's what Duncan Robinson said on his podcast. He was talking about last year when the Heat won Game 1. Everyone in the Heat locker room knew that the Bucks were just going to try to do what they did in Game 1 better. This year, when the Bucks won Game 1, they adjusted, even though they won the game. So there was definitely a change in the coaching this year, not personnel wise, but as far as mentality and a strategy. Mike Budenholzer deserves a lot of credit for that. Shout out to him winning his first ring. And Giannis, man, generational talent. He's gonna go down as one of the all-time greats. He has, immense potential. You guys have already seen it. At 26, he's a 2-time MVP. He's a Defensive Player of the Year winner, and he's an NBA champion. Like, that resume is almost unmatched. I don't even think Jordan or LeBron have that resume at that age. I think Giannis is probably the only guy in NBA history to have that resume at 26. It's ridiculous. And the sky's the limit for him. And I'm so happy for him, because he did this in a smaller market. He didn't have to leave his team and go somewhere. Obviously, as a Heat fan, I was a little bit salty that he re-signed with the Bucks. I would have loved him on the Heat for sure, but at the same time, I'm happy that he won the championship in Milwaukee, staying in the organization that drafted him. And this is a W for all the small market teams, because they can look at this and say, you know what, we have a chance to do this too, because Milwaukee's not a top tier free agent destination or anything like that, but they did it through drafting, developing their talent, and making some key trades that we're going to get into as well. And yeah, I thought Giannis was really, really big. Obviously, last year we were able to contain him somewhat, but I think this year he's even added more. And for a guy who's been scrutinized so much by the media, like, I don't think the media gives Giannis the respect whatsoever, man. I think even during the series, they were talking about Chris Middleton deserving Finals MVP, where it was clearly Giannis. From the beginning to the end, Giannis Antetokounmpo should have been the unanimous Finals MVP if the Bucks won the championship. And even if they lost, like, you can even make an argument that Giannis was the best player in both teams. So Giannis was, in my mind, unanimously deserving of the Finals MVP, and I still don't think he gets the credit he deserves. A lot of people, some analysts were calling him the Robin of the team or whatever. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm glad that he got his well-deserved championship. I'm happy for the Bucks fans. We have been having some little exchanges on this channel when I was doing the prediction videos for the Heat Bucks series, and yeah, that's all jokes, man. That's all banter. But I'm truly happy for the city of Milwaukee and the Bucks team for doing this. And like I said, it's a W for the small market teams. Chris Middleton, I thought was immense as well. Whenever they needed a basket in the clutch, the ball was always in his hands. He hit 2 ridiculously tough shots at the end of the game last night, and he kind of just backpacked his team down the stretch at times. And there was some times where he had 40-point games, and he was, he was a really good number 2. Like, he was probably the best number 2 that Giannis could ask for beside him. And I'm happy for Chris Middleton because I watched Chris Middleton at Texas A&M, and I knew the talent was there, but I didn't know how good he could be. Obviously, he ended up in Detroit, and then Detroit traded him to the Bucks. He played in the G League, and then he kind of just rose up. And Chris Middleton, I've known about Chris Middleton for a while, but when I truly saw the potential was, I think it was 2016 or 2015. He hit a game winner on the Heat. And some Heat fans will remember this, some Bucks fans will remember this. I remember this game really vividly. He hit a 3 to win the game at the buzzer against the Heat, and I was like, okay, this guy has ice in his veins, and he's gonna be their closer. So Chris Middleton, shout out to him. Great journey, man. Him and Giannis both, very deserving of this championship. And let's talk about the trades that they made. Drew Holiday, amazing acquisition. He's so underrated defensively. It's almost like when every NBA player is asked who's their toughest defensive matchup right now, Drew Holiday is the name that gets thrown out there. Like, Drew Holiday is, I think, the most underrated defender in the league, and he showcased it. I thought he made some big time plays guarding Devin Booker at times, picking up Chris Paul at full court. He was amazing. PJ Tucker was another big acquisition, not only because of his play on the court, but as an off court leader, as a guy who they can trust. I thought he was an amazing acquisition for the Bucks as well. He just has that veteran presence, that veteran experience. I'm happy for him too. He should have won a championship in Houston, man. Probably should have. I thought the Houston Rockets team were very close to winning that chip, but he got his right now. He got his championship now, and I'm happy for him. Bobby Portis, what an acquisition he was. He was probably one of the signings of the summer. The one of the best free agent acquisitions of the summer. And he was the perfect backup center. He is a free agent this year, so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But Bobby Portis, man, I think he is one of the best backup bigs in the NBA, and the energy. It's not even just like what he does. It's just the energy that he plays with, the leadership he brings. He's just everywhere on the court. So yeah, man, I think Bobby Portis is really good, and I think that he will continue to be an amazing backup center. My mistake, he's not a free agent this year, he's a free agent next year. So before you all come at me in the comment section, he's a free agent next year. But he's gonna get a bag next year. He's on like $7 million this year. I think I can see a team paying him upwards of $10 million just from his play this year. And apart from that, I just thought it was a collective effort from the other guys. Pat Connaughton chipped in. Bryn Forbes in the first round was immense. Other guys, really stepped up for that team. So I'm happy for the Bucks. Coming to the Suns, obviously, disappointed for them. But the Suns were kind of like my secondary team to root for during this stretch when the Heat got eliminated, because I wanted to see. I've been a big Devin Booker fan. Devin Booker is probably my favorite player in the NBA who is not on the Heat. You know, obviously I love all the Heat players, but if there is someone not on the Heat who's my favorite player, it'd probably be Devin Booker. And you know, I'm sad for him, but he has a bright future. He's only 24. You know, I think he got a lot of unnecessary hate because of the Kobe comparisons, and he's never said that he was Kobe. He never said he was, you know, comparing himself to Kobe. That was the media. That was Stephen A. Smith saying that he's the next Kobe or whatever. So I don't know why he is getting the hate for the Kobe comparisons when it was clearly the media who started that. But you know, that's besides everything. He has a bright future. He's a really, really good talent, and I think that he will be, you know, this will motivate him, and this will, you know, make him. It'll add fuel to the fire, and he'll come back next year even stronger. So I have no doubt in Devin Booker. Obviously, Jay Crowder, Heat legend. If you all know, you know. If you know, you know. Heat legend. You know, it was a big reason why we were struggling this year. You know, we couldn't really find a replacement for Jay Crowder, and it was sad to see him. You know, in Game 6, he was missing a lot of open threes, but Jay Crowder is always going to be a serviceable role player wherever he goes. I'm sure he's in the locker room, you know, trying to get his guys up right now, because he is, along with Chris Paul, I think the emotional leaders of the team. Chris Paul, obviously, you know, coming to the end of his career, a lot of people wanted him to get this ring. He didn't get it, which is tough. He's one of the most unluckiest players ever, as far as, you know, injuries and stuff like that. But I don't know when the window is closed for him to win a ring, but it's closing, and he's gonna have to do it very soon. If he wants his championship. But even if he doesn't win a championship, you can still be an all-time great without winning a chip. Like, no one's going to disrespect him if he doesn't win a championship. But obviously you want to win one, but even if he doesn't win one, he's still going to go down as one of the greatest point guards of all time. So that's Chris Paul. And then I was really disappointed in DeAndre Ayton. I was really, really disappointed. You know, going into the playoffs, he was like my X factor for the Suns. Like, if he played well, they would win. And when he played well, they were doing really well. But there was just times where he was just, you know, the guarding Giannis, it was too much for him. Like, his body position was all wrong. He was showing his shoulder to Giannis, which was an automatic foul instead of, you know, guarding him with his chest out. And on offense, he was just shying away from contact. He was not finishing strong at the basket, missing easy floaters, layups. But you know, DeAndre Ayton did make a name for himself this playoffs, and I do think if he refines his talent more, I do think that he will be a very good center in the future. I don't think he's a top 5 center like a lot of people were saying. He's probably like 6 or 7 for me. I would still have Gobert above him in my center rankings, but that's depends on whoever you ask, man. I still think he has a little bit more to do. I want to see more of what he did in the first couple of rounds, and if I see that, then maybe he'll jump up in my rankings. But I was very disappointed by his play last night. Cam Payne, what a performance in the playoffs, man. This guy came off the bench and lit it up. You know, he was just, whenever they needed someone to provide a spark plug off the bench, it was him. And you know, he definitely made a name for himself. And I don't know what his contract situation is, but he's gonna get paid whenever his contract is up, because he was getting clowned a lot. He was Russell Westbrook's dance partner or whatever in OKC in Chicago. He got cut. I'm pretty sure he might be a free agent this year, and if he is, then man, he's gonna get paid because he's only making $1 million a year. So Cam Payne, you know, he's gonna get himself a bag. And lastly, Monty Williams. You know, just a great coach. I knew this hiring was going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be this good, though. Monty Williams, he was a guy who was part of Philly, I'm pretty sure. Him and Jimmy had a relationship. And he obviously coached Chris Paul in New Orleans as well. So he's definitely had experience coaching, and he's been, you know, very vocal coach. I think he's more of a player's coach than anything, but he's definitely, you know, a very classy guy. Obviously went to the Bucks locker room and congratulated them. So yeah, shout out to Monty, man. He's a very, very good coach, and he got his respect this year. Apart from that, you know, I don't think there's much more to talk about. Where does Giannis go as far as all-time greats? I think he's probably just outside, if not just inside the top 3 power forwards of all time. You know, I'm not putting him over Dirk or Tim Duncan. KG is arguable, but as of right now, I think KG is above him, but he could be above KG in the future. I just have too much respect for Dirk after what he did to my team. You know, the man was just, you know, that playoff run in 2011 was historic. He went through Kobe, Pau Gasol, the Big 3 Thunder, and then he went through the Big 3 Heat. Like, that's ridiculous. And his second best player was Tyson Chandler. So, and he did have a good team around him. Like, that team gets like really, you know, disrespected. Like, Tyson Chandler was a defensive player of the year candidate that year, and then Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, JJ Barea, people like that. But Dirk was the guy, and you know, I have so much respect for him, and I cannot have enough respect for him, because the guy literally, you know, I watched him tear my team up. So you know, I mentally, you know, I have to give him that respect. And Tim Duncan, obviously the GOAT power forward, I don't have to explain that, but Giannis could definitely make a case for being top 10 in the future, top 5, as far as even players of all time, not even power forwards. And you know, he's very close. He's very close. So I wish Giannis all the best. Shout out to the Bucks for winning the chip, and you know, on to the offseason. And in the offseason, expect a lot more stuff Heat related. A lot more rumors will be flying out. You know, draft is very soon. I will be doing some undrafted guys that the Heat should target. And yeah, like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll see y'all later as always, man. Peace.